Good morning. So I've been thinking about repetition. So I'm going to be talking about repetition today. So I was thinking about what to talk about and thinking of all the subjects that I've touched on. And I'm not pretending that they're deep talks because they're suggestions around aspects of the Dharma, and they've all been very short talks. So yeah, limited in that way. But I was thinking, well, what haven't I talked about? And I thought, well, actually, the Dharma really needs repetition again and again and again and again. And, nowadays, I think once we've read a book, we think we've done that. We've passed that one. We'll get something new. And there can be a tendency for us to want new things all the time, new ideas, new ways of living, new suggestions. But the Dharma is very deep, and most of the time we are touching the Dharma in quite a superficial way. That can't be helped because awareness grows very slowly. You can't change your awareness overnight, and you can't force it to happen. I think to really change ourselves requires a lot of humility, a lot of self-understanding, and a lot of awareness. So if you take a concept, for example, like impermanence, well, of course we know a lot about impermanence. Here we are through the winter. We've had some wonderful spring days, and the weather has changed. Everything's suddenly become really green, and yeah, we can see impermanence all around us. And of course we can see the downside of impermanence. Now 30,000 people have died of the coronavirus in our country alone. So we understand impermanence. At least we understand it intellectually. We don't particularly understand it deeply. And, the proof of that is our emotional attachment to ourselves and how impermanence doesn't seem to apply to ourselves. So death seems to happen to other people. Getting old seems to happen to other people. And then suddenly you look in the mirror one day, like I'm looking at myself now, and I think there is an old lady. And it seems only the other day that I was, in my 20s or 30s, and I didn't look this way. So, yes, every teaching has to be penetrated more and more deeply. Because if I really understood impermanence, then getting old, dying, would not be a great deal. Why should it be? Because I would understand deeply that everything that arises must pass away. And that includes me. Why wouldn't it? So repeating the Dharma again and again is a very useful thing. It's essential. It's not just useful. It's utterly essential, because it's only by reflecting deeply on the Buddha's teachings and by repeating them to ourselves again and again that we can actually learn, that we can actually, with our heart and mind, our chitta, only with that level of understanding can it really drop very deeply. And I was thinking about the law of karma, which, is a greatly misunderstood concept. And I wonder if that's probably a lot to do with us being a Christian society. So we're used to feeling, punished from outside, almost like there's going to be some comeback either from the law or from God. And this means that we don't really take responsibility for our actions. We don't really see that it's up to us. So, I'm reminded of those first verses of the Dharma. All that we are is the result of what we have thought. It is founded on our thoughts and made up of our thoughts. If one speaks or acts with an impure thought, suffering follows as the wheel follows the hoof of the beast that draws the wagon. All that we are is the result of what we have thought. It is founded on our thoughts and made up of our thoughts. If one speaks or acts with a pure thought, happiness follows like a shadow that never leaves us. So it really is up to us. And, actions have consequences, but not because of anybody else, but because of ourselves. Because when we make others unhappy, we might think that we are not affected. We might even think with glee at times, that they deserved it and so on, and that we've got one over on them. But actually, deep down, it doesn't sit easily with us. It doesn't sit easily with our conscience. Apart from anything else, if we act unskillfully towards others, if we act with selfishness and greediness and so on, others become wary of us. It doesn't connect us with other people, it separates us. So that alone, anyway, brings its consequences, doesn't it? But I think there's something deeper that goes on within us, some deeper sense of dis-ease that plays on our mind. And I think one of my biggest aims in life right now is that, I want to be able to act with kindness, and I don't want to die with any regrets. I want to feel like I've done the best I could. And I've been practicing now for 28 years, practicing as a Buddhist in some way or other. And over that time, I've just had to repeat and repeat and repeat all my intentions, all my aims. I've had to remind myself again and again of what I'm doing. I've had to remind myself again and again that I let myself down, but that I have good intentions. In other words, it's really, you have to keep going. You have to keep going. You can't expect too much. You have to be patient. And that patience does pay off. So drop by drop is the pitcher filled, as it says in the Dharma. Drop by drop is the pitcher filled. And little by little, the wise man is filled with merit. So, yes, today we tend to want a quick result, don't we? We want it all to happen very fast, change, but we need to learn patience and repetition. So I'm going to leave it there for today. I'll see you again. Bye for now.